Okay, so here's the thing. Since the previous video, we got this decent move on the upside in Algorand, and in today's video, I'm going to show you some evidence and tell you why I believe that Algorand can actually soon skyrocket out of this very important area and continue its bull run. So with that said, hi everyone, welcome back. I hope you're having a great time with your family and loved ones. And in today's video, first I'm going to show you some bullish signs, and then I'm going to try at least to tie it all back to my field of works, which, if you are a new viewer, is Elliott Waves. Okay, let's start. Here's the deal. This is an unbelievably important broken resistance area from weekly and daily time frame at the same time. And the reason that I believe this is very important and strong is that above here, we're not really actually having a whole lot of strong resistances. And that's why when we were under here, I was saying, look, if you see Algorand getting a break of this thing at that point, because the road on the upside is much more clear, we are going to see much bigger moves compared to when we were all the way back down in these areas. Now, what is happening at the moment? You see, if you want to argue that a resistance area is broken, you need to go on the time frame that it belongs and see an initial move above it, followed by that a pullback to the broken region, and then after it a continuation of the move up in order to take this side. And in Algorand, I believe we are having exactly that. This can be considered as our initial break, followed by that a pullback. And what are we going to do next? Odds are most likely a continuation of the move up in order to take this side. And I would argue, I'm going to tell you in a bit why this move up can actually happen in quite a bit of a rapid pace. So in terms of classic TA, we are looking fantastic. Now, let's do a very simple analysis in this area. From this highest high, about, let's say, 61 cents to somewhere around the lowest low down here, about 28.5 cents. How long did it take to have this move? Around, let's say, 105 candlesticks. Now, if I just zoom out a bit more and do this, in the same period of time in Algorand, we had this huge move on the upside starting from these areas. And what does it mean? To me at least, this suggests, despite having more than enough time, it seems like that the bears are actually failing to pull the price all the way back down to these levels, and bulls at the moment probably do have the upper hand, and well, they are most likely going to push the price just higher and higher. So this is another bullish sign suggesting our uptrend is going to continue probably soon. Do we have other ones? Yes. Now let's talk about Elliott Waves. You see, if you want to argue in the short term, the bottom is in, for example, right in here, then okay, you must be able to find off of the lowest low in the region a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 wave up. This specific example is a normal 5 wave. Rules for it are, we should not have overlapping of the waves between wave 2 and 4 and in any kind of impulsive structure. Wave 3 should not be the smallest wave, and for our subwaves, you know it if you are a regular viewer. 5 wave up into wave 1, 3, and 5. Let's just draw the waves. There we go. And for wave 2 and 4, we can have so many different possibilities. Doesn't really matter. Let's say, yep, ABC into 4 and a WXY into wave 2. Understood? Okay, let's go on the live chart and maybe on some lower time frames. Yeah, sure. Let's say 15 minutes. Let's zoom out more and go around this area. So here's the thing. From the lowest low down here, I can actually tell you this is 1, this is 2, and then probably I would say to about this point can be the end of our wave 3, followed by that a correction for 4, probably a flatter structure, and then another move up into wave 5. And then after it, what are we going to have? You know it, a corrective movement on the downside. And when we were around these areas, I was saying in Algorand, because finding an impulse in this region is quite hard, we can say our correction started from this high and not this point, and it can be in form of an ABC flat structure, which in it, for the subwaves, we must have ABC down into A, ABC or a WXY up into wave B, and a 5 wave impulsive structure on the downside into our C-leg. Now, I still believe we are having something like this, but now this isn't going to be a running flat. Why is that? Because in this move down, we have taken this important low of our A leg, which means now we are having an ABC in form of actually an expanded flat, and this can be, for example, our wave 5 in form of potentially a wedge structure. So we are having 5 wave up, correction down, and this is a great bullish setup, because I can tell you, okay, this is a wave 1, this is a wave 2, and at the moment we are on our way to have a huge move into wave 3 and 4 and 5. And this is why I believe in Algorand we could actually skyrocket out of this very important area, because in terms of Elliott waves, usually wave 3 is quite a big wave. Now, we can have two different possibilities in here. One scenario suggests even starting from here, we can have a huge 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 wave up in order to just continue setting higher highs and higher lows. Another scenario suggests that maybe this is going to be, if I just do this, okay, like a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 wave up, and this can be a correction, maybe, yeah, sure, let's say ABC, and on a higher degree, we may have a 1, 2, 5 up into wave 3, correction for 4, another move up into wave 5, and then, according to this scenario, in the next 3 to 4 days in Algorand, we might get a choppy move down, but do not worry, this is an unbelievably bullish setup. Why is that? We said this is a 1, 2, and followed by that, if something like this is going to happen, well, okay, this is also going to be another 1 and a 2, but on a lower degree. This is a very important point relative to this 1 and a 2, and maybe by the next week, we are just going to shot out of this area and have, who knows, maybe even a 60 to 100% move on the upside. I think that is definitely possible in Algorand. So in terms of Elliott waves, classic technical analysis, and also indicators, we are just looking magnificent in Algo. But here's the key. Every single scenario should have an invalidation point. And if your scenario doesn't, that is your problem, not Elliott waves or that specific method that you are practicing. And for me, the invalidation point for the bullish possibility in the short term is going to be taking this low about, let's say, 31 cents. Why is that? Because if we take this low at that point, I'm just not able to find an impulse in this area, and I'm gonna say probably this is going to be an ABC zigzag, and our move down may continue a bit more in order to also take this low down here about 28 cents, but probably not go a whole lot lower. And in this area, you're not gonna believe it, I am going to heavily go long in Algorand. But again, as long as we're not doing something like this, I don't believe that we should be talking about it. For now, everything in Algorand just screams bullish, and I do think that by the next 7 to 10 days, we can witness a fantastic move on the upside. And here is a very important point, and probably my final one. You see, what do we have in this region? Just constantly overlapping of the waves, which is a very important characteristic of a correction, and it can be a WXYZ in form of a triple zigzag. Now, here's the deal in Algorand. If you see in the next couple of days a move up in order to take this side, that's actually going to be a fantastic bullish sign, suggesting indeed this is a correction structure. Why is that? Because although we are having in here constantly overlapping of the waves, the truth is this is just lower highs and lower lows, which means we are in a downtrend. And when can you say that, for example, this downtrend is over? When you see a move up, and in that move, we take the previous major pivot high. At that point, you can say, well, okay, odds are that the trend is changing, and we are going to just have an uptrend and continue our move on the upside. And that's why I want to argue taking this important high in Algorand about, let's say, 46.5 cents is very important. So overall, I am absolutely optimistic in Algo, and it seems like that we definitely do have the right structure for a great move on the upside. That's why I am so excited for the short term, and I hope I explained everything well and you understood what is going on in Algorand's price chart. Anyway, If you found any value in my content, I would really appreciate if you like this video and consider subscribing to my channel and follow me on Twitter. And if you want more, maybe you want a complete analysis for your own specific crypto, or maybe you want to learn some decent TA in order to be able to make good money in the markets, you can become a member and ask me anything you want. And until the next video, I hope you have a wonderful time. Goodbye.